Everyone, thought I'd put together a pop-up on the site today to capture leads from people who are visiting the site. So basically a pop-up gives you the option to capture email addresses and first name, etc. In exchange for a special gift. Now that gift can be a PDF file, it can be a book, it can be chocolate, whatever you want to give away, quite frankly, it really doesn't matter. It just depends on your business. But it's a super important part of actually making sure you grow your business. Your email list is the most important part of growing a business online. And I always fail to remember that myself. And then I get reminded as times move on. But let's face it, if you can put a message out to 10 people, you're going to get a certain level of response. If you can put a message out to 100,000 people, you're going to get a different level of response. If you can reach out and touch that many people at once, which is far more effective than using social media, I can tell you, then that's going to work to your advantage. So how do we do that? Well, the first thing is we need to add a new plugin. So let's have a look at our screen. It's easy enough to add a new one. We just type add new, and we'll just put in, I'm going to put in Mailchimp because I want something that works with Mailchimp. Okay, so it's going to pop up, capture the details, send it to Mailchimp, and then Mailchimp can send them a link where they can download my free gift. Okay. So let's have a look. We've got a few different ones. We've got, these are just straight integrations for Mailchimp, but I wanted to pop up. So here's one here, and it looks pretty good. So I've installed that actually, but obviously to install it, you click install now and away you go. So let's have a look. Here it is in my sidebar. If I click on it, you can see we've got some general settings, remove data and uninstall. So it stores certain data inside the database of Wordpress. If you uninstall the plugin, you can either leave the data there, which is what normally happens, or you can actually remove the data. It's up to you. But in this case, I'm just going to leave it blank. Opt-in campaign, nothing much to do here. Email campaign, got the name of the website and everything. And I can fill in all the details of the country and etc. And just go save changes. Okay, so fill in all the basics. Feel free to do all of that, and you do have the option to upgrade to put a reCAPTCHA in, and that's the little, tick this box to prove you're not a robot. But we don't really care about that right at the moment because we're doing an email list rather than a contact form. So we need to use integrations. Now the reason is that we actually want to integrate with Mailchimp. So if I scroll down, see Mailchimp on the side. There's a lot of other ones, Entreport and Zoho, HubSpot, all ones you might recognize. Now I need an API key. Now in Mailchimp, you can get an API key. You just come into your Mailchimp account and then come into your information about your account. So come up underneath here and go down to account and get into extras and then click make an API key. So that's this big long number which I can copy, okay, and I can give it a name by clicking in here and filling in a name, but you can look that up. That's just a different aspect, but easy enough to do. Okay, so I'm going to paste that in there and go save changes. Now what should happen is they should connect together, and I may get a few other things pop up depending on what options are available. So in this case, let's go back to Mailchimp. Where are you? There. And it says it's connected. Okay, so that's great. We don't have to worry about that anymore. So let's have a look at our opt-in campaign. So we need to make a campaign. And you can see we've got a couple of options. We've got light boxes, in post, sidebar widget, slide in, etc. So we'll click add new. We'll call this pop-up 1. And you can see there's a couple here that are free. Some of these have premium tags on them, so that's where you got to pay for the upgrade. But just for now, and remember there's a lot of other options available. This is just one that I've randomly selected. Select theme. And you can see it's taken in this customization area. If I click here, I can change this. And I can change this. And I can, choose a different font, and that works really well. Oops. Okay, there we go. Now we've got enter your name here, enter your email address, and subscribe. Well, we don't want it to say subscribe. We want it to say submit or send now, and so that's all done. Okay, so we've got our box, nice and easy, and I'll just come back to the main one. Whoop, sorry, clicked the wrong thing. So that's all done. Save changes. Click this to turn it on, and just click on submit here. Now, name, email, we don't need any custom. Okay, so we've got all that ready now. So if we come back to here, you'll notice there's a range of different options available here. Like if I click headline, it's back to our headline, etc. But we need to do our configuration. So there's our name and all that. Hide close button. We don't want to hide the close button because we want people to be able to close if they don't want it. Close on overlay click. That means if you click anywhere on the page, that will disappear. We want people to actually close it properly. So we'll leave that on. And you've got a successor cookie. So that means it's tracking it for a 30 days, and this removes the branding down the bottom here because you don't really want their branding on there. And then if I come back to integrations, this is where we set up the integration to Mailchimp. So check Mailchimp, and then within Mailchimp I have a series of mail lists already listed. We'll see there's one here called Headlines That Sell, which actually matches this in real life. Click Save Changes. So everything's stored. After conversion, display a success message, redirect to a URL. So this is really, really important. You've got two options here. One, it just goes thank you, or the second, it takes you to a page that says thank you. Now, if you take them to a page, when you take them to a page, you can actually track that they've visited that page. And the only way they can get to that thank you page is if they filled out a form on your site. So you might have a thank you page for your contact form, you might have a thank you page for your pop-ups, and you can see in your Google Analytics through each page how many people have visited that page. So you can see, for example, this will give you details on how many times the form popped up, but you will see how many times the form popped up and how many times people completed it. This data is invaluable, okay? So you do have the opportunity. If I go redirect to a URL, I can actually, let me just copy and paste that address. I can put that in there and go thank you, and I can make a thank you page, okay? Now, there is no thank you page currently, so if someone fills in this form, it's going to go to a 404 error page. Yeah, that's cool. I can live with that while I'm setting it up. If worst comes to worst, just get it to say thank you. And display rules, you can set up a whole range of rules. So basically, we're ready to rock and roll now, okay? So if we come back to here and we go into opt-in campaigns, you'll see our pop-up is here now. And we can enable test mode like this. And if I come up here and go open link in new tab, bingo, there's my form, Brad at mrwebmarketing.com, and submit, check it. There we go. And you'll notice it tried to take me to that thank you page up the top here. And this pop-up's come up again. So there's obviously something wrong with my settings, so I'll have to look a little bit further into that, but you can dig into that yourself. So that's gone fine, and I should be getting an email from my system that tells me how I can download that free book. I'm going to leave that on the site so you can actually download that free book. It is a free book of 300 headlines and the headline formulas that you can get. And I will double check in my Mailchimp whether my campaigns are set up properly for all of that. Okay. So that brings us to the end of today's lesson. There's hundreds of different pop-ups, and I mean, Thrive Themes itself that I use actually has a pop-up builder and everything built into it, but most don't. So this is one way of doing it. There's other pop-ups. You'll need to test them. Some of them will force you into upgrading to a paid version to get any good value out of it, but this particular one, called Mail Opt-in, actually seems to be pretty good for free to start out with. So have fun with that, and I'll catch you in the next video.